In the bustling city park lived a squirrel named Hazel, with a bushy tail and a curious nature.
She loved nothing more than gathering acorns during the autumn season. One day, Hazel was scampering up an oak tree in search of the perfect acorn when she spotted it. It was large, round, and smooth, just the way she liked them. Grabbing the acorn in her mouth, she dashed up to her secret hiding spot, tucked away in the hollow of the tree. As the days passed, Hazel grew quite fond of that particular acorn.
She would often take it out and polish it, imagining all the delicious meals she could make with it.
But one fateful day, disaster struck. Hazel awoke to find the acorn missing from its hiding spot. Panic surged through her. Where could it be? Who could have taken it? Determined to find the culprit, Hazel decided to seek help from her friend, Biscuit, a basset hound known for his exceptional sense of smell.
Biscuit was lounging under a tree when Hazel approached him, her eyes filled with worry.
Biscuit, my dear friend, she began, her voice trembling. My precious acorn has vanished, and I fear it may have been stolen. Stolen! Biscuit pondered, his long ears drooping slightly.
Well, I suppose there's only one thing to do. He rose to his paws, his tail wagging determinedly.
You need the super sniffer detective on the case. Hazel's eyes widened.
Really? You'll help me? Biscuit barked, then took a deep breath. Of course, my dear Hazel. Just lead the way. And so the great acorn caper began. The super sniffer detective sniffed around the base of the oak tree where the acorn had been hidden, his wet nose twitching, trying to pick up the scent.
He muttered. This is a tricky one.
The trail is growing cold. Hazel watched anxiously as Biscuit sniffed a nearby bush, then shook his head in disappointment.
Don't lose hope, Hazel, he said kindly. A good detective never gives up. They continued their search, following a winding path that led them deeper into the park. As they walked, Biscuit occasionally stopped to sniff at various things, much to Hazel's frustration.
Are you sure you're picking up my acorn's scent? She asked, exasperated.
Have you not smelled anything else along the way? Biscuit wagged his tail apologetically.
My dear Hazel, I may be a super sniffer, but even I need some solid clues to go on.
All I've smelled so far are flowers, grass, and, well, a lot of dogs. Suddenly, Biscuit froze, his ears perking up. Do you smell that, Hazel? He whispered excitedly. I think we've found something. They had come across a small mound of dirt near a tree, and upon closer inspection, Hazel noticed tiny scratches on the bark.
This looks promising, Biscuit exclaimed, digging his nose into the dirt.
I can smell the acorn here. I'm sure of it.
He started digging furiously, sending dirt flying everywhere.
Hazel joined in, her paws moving quickly as she helped Biscuit unearth the buried treasure.
But instead of finding the acorn, they discovered a shiny bottle cap. Biscuit sniffed it cautiously.
He said, scratching his head. That's odd.
I could have sworn I smelled the acorn here. Discouraged, Hazel slumped onto the ground. Perhaps you're right, Biscuit, she sighed. It seems my precious acorn will remain lost forever. Not so fast, Hazel Biscuit barked, bounding back to his feet. A good detective never gives up. And besides, we've barely sniffed the entire park. He led her to a nearby playground where children were happily sliding and swinging. This is quite the mystery, Biscuit said, sniffing at a swing set. The acorn could be anywhere. As he sniffed, a little girl approached them, holding a brown object in her hand. Excuse me, she asked. Have you lost this? She held out the object
For them to see.
Biscuit's tail began to wag furiously. Could this be the acorn? Hazel squealed with delight. Oh, my dear detective, You found it. I knew you could do it! Biscuit barked happily. It was an easy case. Really?
All those squirrels and kids running around.
They left plenty of clues for the super sniffer detective. Hazel looked at the acorn in her hands, its smooth surface gleaming in the sunlight. But how did it get here? She wondered aloud. Suddenly, she noticed small teeth marks on the side of the acorn. A mischievous grin spread across her face. Oh, I know who the real culprit is, she said,
pointing her paw toward a nearby bush.
There, munching on something, was a chipmunk with a guilty look on its face. You!
Hazel exclaimed. You stole my acorn! The chipmunk froze, his cheeks bulging.
Then, in a panic, he dropped the acorn and ran off as fast as he could.
Biscuit barked with laughter.
Looks like we got our culprit, Hazel. He nudged her with his nose. Now let's get you a new acorn, shall we?
Hazel laughed and reached out to stroke Biscuit's ear. Thank you, Biscuit.
You are the best super sniffer detective a squirrel could ask for. And so their adventure came to an end.
The two friends walked side by side through the park, their laughter echoing in the air. For Hazel, the lost acorn was just a minor setback.
After all, there were plenty more where that came from.
But what mattered most was the bond she shared with her detective friend.
Together, they had solved another mystery, and their friendship was stronger than ever.
The sun shone brightly as they made their way home, each lost in thought about their next exciting escapade.
Would there be another mystery to solve? Another adventure to embark upon? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain. As long as they had each other, no challenge was too great and no case was unsolvable. Back at the oak tree, Hazel searched for a new acorn to replace the stolen one. She wanted something just as special, just as perfect. But no matter how hard she looked, nothing seemed to catch her eye. It's no use, she sighed.
There's no acorn here that will do. Suddenly, she heard a familiar bark and turned to see Biscuit trotting towards her, a playful grin on his face.
What did you find, Biscuit?
She asked, her tail twitching with curiosity.
He dropped a small bundle at her paws and stepped back, his eyes twinkling. Hazel carefully unwrapped the leaves and twigs to reveal a beautiful acorn. It wasn't as big as her previous find, but it was perfect in its own way. Oh, Biscuit! She exclaimed, her eyes shining with gratitude. This is just perfect! She hugged him tightly. You're the best friend a squirrel could ask for. Biscuit licked her ear affectionately. Anytime! Hazel! Anytime! He wagged his tail, eager for more adventures. Hazel turned back to the oak tree, her heart full. She knew no matter what challenges lay ahead, she and Biscuit would face them together. Their friendship, like the oak tree that had sheltered them, was strong, resilient, and everlasting.